Okay, children. Come with me through this portal here. Yeah, it's a portal to another world called Animalia. Come on. Come on. No, it is a portal. It is. Come on, come on. Let's go into that portal. Go into that portal. There's so much fun in there. Just go on. Go in. Go in. You will go into that portal. You will go in to that portal. You will do exactly what I say. I'll send the creeper after you. If I could look on at least one positive of lockdown, it's meant that I've gone back and looked at shows that I grew up with on CBBC that I otherwise haven't looked at in over a decade. Previously I looked at Mona the Vampire. Today I'm looking at a much less known show, which was originally a book, Animalia. Originally written by Graham Bass, based on the same book of the same name. This show came out in the UK before it actually came out in the US. It came out in the UK in 2007 and ran for a second series in 2008, consisting of 40 episodes total. In the US, however, it didn't come out until 2008, full stop. Also, if you look at the Wikipedia page at the episode list, it only lists the first 13 episodes, which is really weird because there's actually 40 episodes total, all of which you can actually find on YouTube. Yeah, I actually marathoned every single episode before doing this review, just so I, could watch the whole thing again. Because although I did remember, main key plot points, because there's a sort of ongoing story to the series, I didn't remember everything, and that was the point of that. So here we go. So the story of Animalia. Well, on one day when two school Higgs accidentally bump into each other at a library, Zoe and Alex, our main characters, they accidentally stumble upon a portal which leads them to Animalia. As you can imagine, yeah, they're a bit freaked out by there's talking animals everywhere. And they're all civilized together. So take that, Zootopia. You are not the first by a long shot. Yeah. 9 years before... Well, Zootopia, in fact, even longer if you count the book, and I'm sure there's other examples that people are probably going to be commenting in the comments below. But before I go into the story and go over all the characters, let's talk about the animation first and foremost, because, oh boy, has it not aged very well at all. Yeah. You can definitely tell that this is low budget CGI. Particularly low budget. I mean, to be honest, even stuff like Jimmy Neutron probably holds up a bit better than this does. I mean, the animation is better in the second season, and when I say animation, I do mean the actual animation itself, not the character models. The character models are the same in both Series 1 and Series 2. It's just the actual animation itself does get more fluent in its second series than it does in its first. In its first series, it's a lot more jagged, and some of the walking animations are a little bit weird, and there are a few animation mistakes. For example, sometimes characters seem to be just sort of walking on air, or slightly, almost walking, just hovering slightly above the ground. You can tell that, maybe this would have been better as 2D animation, but some of the animation, I don't know, it's not really the animation that holds up, but some of the designs, for example, the designs of the locations, some of them actually hold up. The library where the core, which, is basically the power and that of Animalia, and that gives all the animals the ability to essentially communicate with each other. Communication was one of the big things. That is, that does look decent. would be nice if they ever did a reboot of this, or retelling of it, where, you know, they did it with their CGI animation that's capable with television these days, although, maybe not a good idea. To be honest, maybe a feature-length film. Who knows? But I should probably get into the story and the characters of this. So, Zoe and Alex, the two, you know, human children, there's not really much characterization to them. They're mostly blank slates. I mean, we do know things about them, but they don't have very strong personalities. They're basically there to be, you know, in place of the audience. They're there essentially to just ask questions and to just be as clueless as the audience is about what's happening. We do know that Alex does like drawing, and Zoe likes writing. And there's a few other things here and there, but basically, for the most part, that's all we essentially know. And to be honest, that's all we really need to know about them. There's not a lot that we actually need to know. They do exactly what they do for the plot, and essentially that is it. It's just basically a view for the audience to actually, you know, see. So let's actually go through the other characters. So we've got Livingston, who is the thing, and he is in charge of Animalia, and he's also in charge of keeping the core, you know, fit and healthy. The core, if the core to ever, you know, break down, then Animalia, you know, would cease to be, essentially, because all the animals would just revert to being just like regular animals again. And it turns out when Zoe and Alex happened to stumble in not long ago, the core cracked and little spores of the core fly out every now and again, and they have to go collect them and put them back in the core. And that's basically the plot of most episodes for the series. That is the plot of most episodes. In fact, it's the plot of almost every episode of the first season. In the second series, they do switch it up a bit, which I'll talk about later. Now, you've also got, you know, I won't talk about every single character, otherwise I'll be here all day. A lot of them are just one note. To be honest, I'll just talk about the main ones that you need to know about. So we've got, for Series 1, and Series 2 as well, we've got our antagonist, which is Tyrannosaurus. It'd be even better if I could say his name correctly, but hey-ho. Who is a tiger, and he's essentially Plankton and Mr. Crab sort of mushed together, in the way that he wants to be in charge of Animalia, but he's also a business tiger who, you know, wants to make as much money as possible and spend as little as possible. So it's basically Mr. Krabs and Plankton sort of smushed together, and he is the antagonist for most of the first season and quite a bit of the second season. However, the thing is that this dynamic kind of gets old a bit pretty quickly, to be honest, and it's clear that, yeah, the writers and that realise that. Now, just to clarify, I haven't read the original book, so I'm only going off it from the show, but later on the plot, in episode 16 of the series, we actually get introduced to our main villain. Because Tyrus is, you know, he's an antagonist, but, you know, you wouldn't call him an evil villain, essentially. He's mainly just a bit of a dickhead, essentially. So, to be honest, he's normally never a major threat or anything like that. However, then, later on, we have the introduction of TC, which is an episode I'm going to be talking about. Also known as the Creeper. Guess they must have named them after me. You think that's a joke, but my mum actually did say, because once when I was watching this way back when, oh, they must have named the character after you. Yeah, funny how that turned out. So, Alex and Zoe, later on, you know, have special abilities. For example, Alex can see these portals that are everywhere around Animalia. And Zoe later gains the ability to speak to nature. Much later on, actually. because I think they realise, oh, we better give Zoe a special ability since we've gave Alex one. So Alex is the only one who can see all these portals. Now, another character who can see most of the portals, who we are told about, is called the Creeper. Now, we basically know nothing about him. For the majority of the series, we don't know much. To be honest, we never find out much of his backstory whatsoever. All we know is that he once, tried to take control of Animalia, and he used to steal people's possessions that meant the most to them. Why? Just to be an evil dickhead, I guess. There's not really a reason why. He just steals the thing that he thinks is the most valuable to whatever person. Because. However, he's been trapped in the tunnels. Bad news is, Alex accidentally frees him.
When I say jump, jump! A funny little guy, named TC. Some kind of ferret or mink or something. I helped him escape, or at least I tried to. Have you seen him?
No.
Well, I sure hope he made it out.
Oh, I made it out, Alex. Thanks to you. But the letters TC are just my initials. My full name is... the Creeper. The Creeper is back.
And there we have our villain. And yeah, to be honest, the series did get a lot better when we do have the Creeper. The main reason is because basically a show is a lot more interesting like this when it does have a villain, a proper villain. It just makes the plot move forward. But also, the episodes beforehand are just all kind of just singular, find the core that is the spore that has, flown out of the week. Whereas with the Creeper, you kind of have an ongoing story arc. Not every episode from then on would involve the Creeper, but the episodes that did would follow the arc of basically, the Creeper is trying to basically destroy the core so he can take over Animalia and then other worlds. Which, to be honest, I've never really understood, because that plan doesn't make a lot of sense, because if he destroys the core, then he will revert back to his animal form. Though there is a slight solution, because in one of the Leaks episodes, the Creeper tries to basically do the same thing by basically turning everyone into Animalia into ninnies, or basically just idiots, essentially. The problem is that the Creeper forgets when he does this, it happens to him as well. There is a nice little convenience plot thread, as if any of the animals are in the tunnels, which are accessed through the portals, then they will not be affected by the effects of the core. Okay. I'm not sure how that works, but it somehow works. And this is a nice little, plot thread. Now, obviously, Zoe and Alex, since, they aren't from Animalia, they are not affected by the effects of the core, which a lot of the time means that they're the only ones who can solve the problem. They kind of got bored of that in the second season and decided to switch it up to where, on a few occasions, Alex and Zoe were affected by what was happening. I think it only happened twice. It definitely happened the once where everyone was forced to be suited, and there was another occasion where they reverted back to their ape-like form.
Once I call forth your animal within... Hoity-toity!
He didn't leave me a tip.
Alex? You okay?
Zoe? Nobody's home in her chunky head. Me, Iggy. You, Zoe.
But for the most part, they do, they're just unaffected we've got Alex and Zoe's, best friends, Iggy and Gabooboo. A green gorilla. He's a chameleon iguana. Why? Well, because they needed him to have some sort of ability, so they decided to make him part chameleon. So, even though he's an iguana, he has chameleon abilities, so he can basically blend in with anything and appear to turn invisible. I guess they just wanted everyone to have their own sort of ability, I guess. I mean, they also have an episode where Gabooboo, the gorilla, has to save everyone because the Creeper's plan kind of fringes on unoriginality, because his inspiration, and to be honest, his plans are not actually his own plans. They are actually taken from a gorilla who, has long since passed away, who tried to do the same as the Creeper, called Professor Applebottom. Applebottom, 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 Applebottom. Okay. And essentially just through, archived material of Professor Applebottom, who basically just tried to do the same as the Creeper and take over Animalia. The Creeper literally uses some of Applebottom's plans, but since Applebottom was a gorilla, some of his plans, meaning it doesn't turn out too well for the Creeper. Yeah, it's a bit off and on like that. Anyway, I think I should now talk about the finale, because to be honest, I'm doing this review in the same kind of style I did the Puss in Boots, the Adventures of Puss in Boots TV show review. In that I'm just looking at the series as more of an overview review, then taking a look at each individual episode. Because again, there's 40 of them, I will be here all day doing that. So I'll mainly just talk about the finale. So the final 3 episodes is basically a 3-parter, essentially. And the Creeper, finally manages to take control.
You can't push me around, Tiger. And you can only push me so far, Creeper, and then I push back.
Just keep doing what I tell you to do.
You're not the boss of me,
Who are you kidding, Cat? I've been stringing you along since day 1.
Why, you little... Why would I do that?
Because as long as I hold the Core Keeper's guidebook, I control the fate of the Core and the fate of Animalia!
Shock horror. And he does this by essentially accidentally falling into the mists of time, or winds of time, and basically he is forgotten, and the only way he can be brought back if someone remembers him. Yeah, some of the rules of this world are a little bit weird. But anyway, since, the Creeper appears to be defeated, Alex and Zoe decide, you know what? We've been away from home for a bit. Apparently they've been in Animalia for a few months. And, they decide, you know what? Maybe we should go home for a bit. Now, hey, another plot convenience. Animalia, time in Animalia and time in, our world are not linked. So, for example, they spent about 3 months in Animalia. Back here, it's only been a few hours at the most. A couple of hours and that. So, they're able to go home as if they'd never left. But at the same time, since they're gone, Livingston, who's in charge, decides, you know what, I'm gonna take a break and go see my uncle for a bit. And basically this just makes things open for the Creeper to do whatever the fuck he wants. Which he does. And then gets defeated.
Fix the core.
No!
And as for the coconut of command, I think it's ready for a change.
Oh,
Recover core from darkness deep. Wake up core from deepest sleep. Shine again your brightest light on Animalia, day and night.
Let's hear it for Alex and Zoe, the new leaders of of Animalia!
Oh, still got one more episode left. Quick. Actually, no, the Creeper is not defeated. And, you know, he takes over again.
Ah, sweet core spore, you're mine. All mine.
Yeah, it's a bit weird the way that's structured. The Creeper is defeated at the start of this 3-part finale, then is brought back, takes over in the second part, gets defeated at the end of the second part, and then takes over again for the final part as well. Yeah, there's a little bit of back and forth thing there, because it seems a bit tonally inconsistent, to be honest. I don't know. Just because every time you defeat the Creeper, he's never properly defeated, he'll just try again. Nothing gets him down. And the Creeper's plans? Well, he's, again, just doing what Professor Albotton's plans were.
And with my treasure chest of knowledge, those worlds will bow to me.
How did you come up with that brilliant idea?
I didn't. Good old Peter Applebottom thought it up.
Once you remove the core spore, use the tunnels to seek out new worlds. But go quickly, for Animalia cannot survive without the core.
What happened to you, You used to be reasonable.
That was before you stripped me of the coconut of command.
Well, we had no choice. Power corrupted you. It brought out the worst in you. For Animalia's sake, we had to stop you.
You won't stop me this time.
We were best friends, Wheeze. You broke my heart back then.
Now it's time to break the rest of you.
And he is going to steal, you know, bits of the core. So Animalia just basically goes to ruins, and he basically escapes into the tunnels. So he'll be unaffected by everything, so he'll still keep, you know, his intelligence and ability to communicate, and just go take over another world. Okay, the one thing I've never understood is that no one ever attempts to grab the Creeper most of the time, and also somehow the Creeper is able to kidnap other characters. The Creeper is just a weasel. I mean, he's quite a tall weasel, but why does no one ever just try grabbing him? Or, you know, just like, oh, we've got to stand here and talk at you. Like, I know it's a kid show, and obviously, you know, violence and that, ooh. But why does no one ever try to restrain the Creeper? Like, just restrain him. I mean, it makes sense when he's, you know, making his threats. But sometimes he's not even making a threat and they don't try and restrain him. Which is baffling to me. I mean, you've got Gabooboo, who, you know, is a massive green gorilla. Why don't you try and grab him? I mean, he is fast, but, you know, sometimes he is just stand there where you could literally just reach out and grab him and restrain him. Livingston, why don't you do the same? Oh well. But yeah, you know, since it's the final episode, the Creeper has been grabbing spores. Somehow he is gaining telekinetic abilities where he can just do that, and Livingston is thrown against, you know, the wall. And somehow this is enough to basically put him out of action, though he's not thrown very far. Yeah, he's not thrown very far at all, but, you know, no, that's enough to put him out of action. He's done. He's out. Okay. And the Creeper, you know, decides to jump into the court because Iggy manages to or some of the spores into the core, so the Creeper jumps into there, because apparently, you know, in this final episode, that is something you can just do. Apparently, you can just literally jump into the core.
Don't give up yet, old friend. Whatever strength you have left, now's the time to use it.
Wait! I'm still in here! Let me out! But not like this!
Whoa! Carried off by the wind of no return.
Where to?
Put it this way. He is going far, far away.
Fair enough. Why not? And somehow Livingston struggles and manages to do something to the core which makes him shoot out into the winds of no return, which in the first episode turned out to be a book. But now it's just like, oh, if you get carried off by the wings of no return, that's it, you don't return. You're taking off to wherever, somewhere of no return. I mean, the creeper isn't dead. Is it a satisfying enough ending to the creeper? Yeah. I mean, they're nearly killing off Livingston. He's kind of lying there. But no, they can't kill him off. He needs to be saved by plot convenience. Actually, you know what? That's being a little bit harsh, because it was set up in previous episodes that, butterflies can heal people. Although saying that, I mean, I know it was, a fairly hard throw against a wall, but Livingston is established as still being young. And, he was only thrown a few feet across a room against the wall, and nothing else appeared to happen, so, he should be alright. I mean, he may have some bruises, but he should be okay.
Oh shit, he's actually fucking dying!
So yeah, Livingston's dying, but don't worry, the butterflies are here to heal him. Of what, I don't know, but they heal him, and hey, Animalia finds its Deus Ex Machina. Oh yeah, it has a Deus Ex Machina. It has a massive, thing called the Super Core, which will permanently fix the core and make everything all better. Which, I mean, is a real convenience to have, but okay. I mean, okay, I'll accept it. And what does this core do? It just fixes the core, makes it turn bright white rather than its usual yellow colour. And hey, Animalia is completely fixed. Everyone can see the tunnels and that again. Yay, and they decide, the main cast characters decide, you know what? Let's all go through this portal, and they go into the human world, and the human world are just like, oh my god, lying, oh, and then they're suddenly all fine with it. Okay. They're just all fine. Just like, oh, these animals, who can talk and walk upright, and just like, oh. Well, anyway, so what was going on? It's just like, okay, people are reacting pretty well. At least I'm assuming you never actually see people's reactions properly. I mean, because the human characters are very low rendered.
Oh, far out! Fancy schmancy.
Bang-a-lang! Come on, we'll show you around.
Take me to the big cheese.
Now this could be the start of something big.
We're here, Cervantes.
And that's just how it ends. That's just how Animalia ends. I mean, could it have had a third season? Probably, but who knows? Nah, the story is done. It was supposed to end here. So that was Animalia. And to be honest, I'd say it's worth a watch. It's worth a watch, but I would say you could probably skip most of the first season. Like, literally, with the first season you could watch... You kind of have to watch the first 2 episodes of the first season, and then watch the last 5 episodes of the first season. But from then on out, you know, the series goes pretty good. A lot better, and the stories are generally more interesting. It feels like there's more at stake in the second series, because, you know, you've got the creep out there. I mean, Tyrannus, I mean, he's an antagonist, but, you know, no one ever takes him as a serious threat, because he isn't, because he's more out there looking to make money and, you know, being the ruler of Animalia than anything else. Like, to be honest, there are bits where, you know, he decides not to go through things because, you know, he doesn't want to hurt people. He doesn't want to hurt anyone or anything like that. He just, you know, he just wants to be in charge. He just wants to be in charge and just do what he wants. And, you know, make as much money as possible. Whereas Creep, on the other hand, he wants to destroy everything and everyone. Like, he says he wants to be the ruler, but all of his plans just seem to end up basically, you know, destroying lives, and nothing really seems to get in his way with that. So I think the Creeper was something that Animalia needed, and thankfully it did get by the end of it. Just to note, I actually managed to catch some episodes that I missed out on the first time round. And the reason is because it's mainly during the second series, actually. Because the first time this series aired, and hasn't really aired since on CBBC. But I remember when the second series was airing, the time slot they decided to put it at was, I think, 3:30 or 3:40. They later changed that, though. They did later change that. My light has gone off, but they did actually later change that time slot. And there is a reason they did that. Because I actually missed some of the episodes because school finished at 3:20. Now, I think the episodes were either on at 3:20 or 3... No, I think they were on at 3:30, actually, so I only had 10 minutes to get home, and normally I'd miss the episodes. And this was before the days of CBBC iPlayer. Or, you know, the BBC iPlayer in general. BBC iPlayer was a thing, but not everything was on there like it was today. So I would legitimately miss some of the episodes. Some of the episodes I would legitimately miss. Like, for example, the first episode of the second series. Oops. So I think later down the line they changed it to 4 o'clock or something along those lines, so it would give people time to, you know, get home. And I think I did actually, for some of the episodes, I did end up, I think I set record for them. Probably on VHS, I imagine, back then, back 2008. Yeah, I was still using VHS then to record. So yeah, I mean, it was nice rewatching it and reliving it, but Animalia, I would say, is an enjoyable watch, but I would say, you know, the first 2 episodes, in fact, the first, you know, 15 odd episodes of the series are probably its weaker ones, its second series, and the last 5 episodes of the first series are definitely its strongest. So I'd recommend checking those out and going back and then, you know, making a decision. The animation may have aged quite a lot, since some people it may just be unwatchable. I mean, it does look like a PlayStation 2 game cutscene for the entirety of the series. But, you know, it does have its charm, because it's clear that this series did have effort put into it. So for that, I can appreciate that. But anyway, that's it for this review. And, What am I going to binge watch next? What on earth should I binge watch next? I mean, there are so many things. So many. So many films. TV series. The lot. I don't know. But maybe you do. It seems the children did not go through the portal. Shame, I had a film all lined up for them. Oh well. More for me.